and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm your host, Johann.
And I'm your other host, Matthew.
And we are at minute 100 today. We finally hit them triple digits.
Whoa.
Yep.
We did it. We're at 100, but we're not done.
Nope. But hooray, we're at 100.
It's a milestone for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not all movies go to 100 minutes or 100 episodes. Maybe like 90.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bunch of movies around this time period that don't hit the 100-minute mark.
No.
Yes. So that is a milestone. We could have actually been finished earlier if we went through a different movie.
You know, I really feel bad for the guys doing a Titanic Minute.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I remember that thing had 2 VHS tapes to get through.
Yeah, I know. I did enjoy Titanic, and I had a bad experience the first time I watched it. I was so bored, I threw up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you're not married to my wife, because during her pregnancy, around, I want to say, the 6-month mark, she watched nothing but Titanic back to back.
I was just so bored out of my mind that my head started throbbing, and then I just threw up.
No. So that's the thing too. Like she was so into it around the 6-month mark that she wanted to go to that Titanic experience in Buena Park, where it had the exhibits, the medals, and everything brought up from the Titanic, and there was this one spot where you could actually touch metal that came up and everything. It was kind of cool, but she was like, "This is so cool. You got a ticket that like shows who you were and if you survived or not." And of course I didn't survive because I was a dude.
Yeah. Well, either way. The movie's bad. I didn't like it.
That's your opinion. I think it's okay.
Anyway, so this minute begins with a continuation of the eulogy and ends with Johnny dismissing the Roughnecks.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking in the last minute about the hidden minute, aka the deleted scene. I went back to rewatch the deleted scenes to see how much of the script actually matched that deleted scene. Mm-hmm. And there's something that I noticed that we never brought up. I don't know if you noticed this, but I just all of a sudden noticed it. Every deleted scene has Carmen in it.
Yeah, I remember the reason why they took most of them out was because people didn't like Carmen.
No, but that is the only deleted scenes. Only deleted scenes have Carmen in it. It's either Carmen and Johnny or Carmen and Xander. So
what are you saying? Is there some kind of a conspiracy to make us think that Carmen was the worst part of this movie?
Yeah, most likely.
So you're saying 100 episodes in, the veil has been lifted from my eyes and Carmen's actually okay?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you at all. I can't. This is unsubstantiated, and I can't believe it without proof.
Because there was no deleted scene with Rashchick where he was talking to Carl basically on the plans of going to basically the outpost. Like, there was all these deleted scenes that I mentioned, and none of them ever got to be shot. The only ones that were shot had Carmen in it, and they were removed. Those were the only scenes that were removed. They all centered around the fact that Carmen was the titular person in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, but then again, you do have a really early script that includes, them having the Marauder suit still.
Yes, I understand, but there's just like that scene with Carl and Rashchick, you can just have that. It didn't need a Marauder suit.
Yeah, maybe it got cut down for time where they were saying, "Hey, we don't want this in, don't shoot it," kind of thing. I don't know.
Okay, but they still had the Johnny groping Carmen scene outside of the school. They had the Johnny waving at Carmen as she rides on the train thing in the beginning. Those things could have been removed for a time easily.
Yeah, but they're easily shot too. They're just outside.
Yeah, but they were also pointless. But the one with Carl and Rashchick, we've seen somebody talk through the CRT monitor, and it looks pretty bad. but they still have it. They could have just done the same exact thing. There's things that they cut out for time that made no sense. But if you had that scene where Carl is talking with Ratchet, you can cut that for time, but it still makes sense in a movie as a whole. And if you had that deleted scene, you'd be like, oh my God, like that makes, like, I don't know why they cut that out, probably for time, but it was a good scene.
It's not like we don't learn like why they got sent down. I mean, we learn about it in the next minute, actually, too. So they covered their bases, at least.
Yeah, but it also would have been, they could have removed it because it's a reveal of Carl's rank, etc. But there's more to the deleted scene if they remove that scene versus just removing the parts that make Carmen look bad. You know what I mean?
As I'm thinking, as we talked about, I think in the last minute, there's probably a ton of other deleted scenes that were not released that Verhoeven just has under his bed.
See, you want to think that, but these made it to the DVD.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's on the Blu-ray though. That was the thing. Like some companies want to go back and have like every single deleted scene, every single like sketch that someone did. But if they're doing like a cheap job at a DVD release and maybe just like a simple, what the hell is it called? Commentary. I mean, they don't want to skimp on that much. It's 4 deleted scenes is fine.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that it wasn't a whole entire, conspiracy theory that we're made to think Carmen is really, really horrible because of this. I think she still is, but I also think it's possibly that people were just lazy and just wanted to put 4 instead of the 20 or 60 deleted scenes that could have been in the DVD release.
I don't know. I just think that these were actually filmed versus the ones that were not filmed. And it just so happens that the ones that they wanted to remove were the ones that, like, Verhoeven just painted Carmen of the character that she was, and then they realized that's a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it came from. So we can go back to the actual minute here, Matt.
Okay.
I know you're trying to change this whole thing that Carmen is awesome, but I can't get on base with that, Matt.
No, I thought that's what you were doing.
No,
I thought you were saying that the whole entire thing is there were tons of other DVD, or tons of other deleted scenes, but the only ones that we got were to make Carmen look bad, and the only reason that we only have those 4 deleted scenes is to make Carmen look bad, even worse. So we think, wow, she is really, really bad. Instead of all, like, if we were to have like all the deleted scenes, she would look a lot better.
No, I'm saying that the deleted scenes kept her from looking or being a horrible character that everybody hated.
We totally agreed on that. We agreed on that like day one.
Yeah, but it's just that now they just have the scenes in that just make her look like a bad person.
Yeah, no, we agree on that day one, man.
All right. I'm just saying that just so happens all the deleted scenes happen to have her.
Yeah.
Are we arguing about the same exact thing from 2 different points? God dang it. All right.
We are. We're just talking in circles.
I hate it when that happens.
It happens a lot because we have 2 different ways of explaining stuff.
No, we have A and B ways of explaining stuff.
Shut up and let's get back to the goddamn minute.
Quiet, Mimsy. Anyways, so unfortunately, this is also the scene where we have our final view of Dina Meyer as the casket closes on her. I think this is just a different generation of people where this is kind of on par with Wrath of Khan.
Exactly what I'm thinking as well too.
Like the loss of Spock to the entire Star Trek universe. Like it hit people that grew up with Star Trek.
Yeah.
But then there's certain people that in the 90s that didn't have Star Trek like the way people did back then. But they had Starship Troopers, and this is a big kill.
It's a big kill, but I mean, even for me when I was young watching this, and I did see it in the theaters and everything like that, I was like, "Oh, she's dead. That sucks.
Yeah.
I want to see more bugs." Little kid me, 12-year-old me, I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, then puberty
Girls are
happened.
dumb. Yeah.
Then puberty happened, and then you cried, and then you smashed certain things, and you're like, no.
Yeah. But no, like this easily is pretty much the eulogy and final burial of Spock from Wrath of Khan. I mean, they just need Scotty on the bagpipes, us playing Amazing Grace, and they need Kirk or at least Casper just to say, of all the souls have known, hers was the most human.
But one of the things, well, there isn't going to be a Scotty playing Amazing Grace in this movie because we've kind of noticed that they did downplay most religion in this movie.
There's like none.
Yeah, well, except for John Smith, the one with the
Port Joe Smith.
Port Joe Smith, where they had the Mormons.
Mormon extremists.
Yes, that is the only instance of religion. But that's why this one is not going to have any final song like Amazing Grace, because that's not a thing so much in this universe being religion.
Well, neither is in Star Trek either. I mean, they weren't really religious in that, but they still played it as a like mournful send-off or something like that.
But that's his culture though. That's different. Remember,
Scotty's culture, yeah.
Yeah, because they came up from that culture, whereas the Starship Troopers universe seems to be kind of washed, and then they have this Federation and bug invasion cultures. So a lot of things could be lost in the Starship Trooper universe versus Star Trek, where they actually come up from that culture, and a lot of things hold on to, meaning Spock. Even though they all get merged together and they all become one giant federation as well, they still have a lot of their culture backing with it. In fact, Matt, that is like one of the biggest things about Star Trek is culture.
Yeah, I know.
So why are you arguing about culture existing?
Oh, I'm not arguing culture existing. Again, we're arguing about the same thing.
God dang it. We're doing it again. So one of the things I also notice about this casket is it's perfectly fitted to her.
Yeah.
Her head is like flushed up right up against the one of the walls of the casket. And there is only enough padding in there for her body versus like the caskets that are around today. The entire thing is padded for I don't know what reason. The caskets specialized for today's. I don't know. I'm putting on record now. If anything happens to me, Matt, I want to be cremated. Done.
Dude, same here. But I have a caveat. I want to be shot into space.
Yeah, if you can Viking funeral me, perfect.
That is not possible because there are laws against burning human flesh. But if you want to do a sky burial in Mongolia, I think I can get that done.
Yeah, but yeah, I personally I don't see the point in coffins. No. But the one thing I do notice about this one is it's efficient.
Dude, you know what I mean? It is a coffin built by committee, basically.
Yeah. So that's just like one of the things that I notice about this is like it's just made to house a body. It's not made to be like the ones today, like to make them comfortable in the afterlife, which makes no sense. But this one, it's there's no bells and whistles. There's nothing shiny on it, really.
No TV, no aquarium in there, no soft serve machine. I mean, Exhibit's not going to have a fun time with this.
Yeah. But even as towards the end of the minute where you see the coffin get jettisoned, you see there's a logo on it, and it's the Federation logo. It's not even like a family crest or anything like that. These literally look like ones that they would stock like Costco does.
Yeah.
Like there's probably I wouldn't say there's a bunch of them, but they probably have like the end pieces. and then they just put the sides to depending on how tall or short the person is.
So the way they're shaped, I'm actually looking at 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 44 seconds where it's outside the window. I actually skipped a little bit ahead. But if you take it, turn it upside down, and then put 2 on top of it, like if you put it upside down and kind of stack it so like the top bezel is meeting at the very side of the bezel on the left or right, these things can be stacked up and down, like upside, right side up and upside down in like a nice little row. So, I mean, these are efficiently made to be stacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the very, very side would hit the middle of the one that it's below.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I can see how that would work.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as burials go, I think this is probably like the best one, like being buried in space.
I mean, I said I wanted to get it done.
Yeah, you don't take up a lot of space, which is one of the reasons why I don't understand coffins. But doesn't take up space, and it just looks kind of awesome.
My dream, because there actually is a company that does this and shoots you into space too. It's expensive,
all right.
But there's 3 different things that you can do. One, you can be shot up into a return orbit. So you go up and then you come back down.
Nah.
And you're like a shooting star kind of thing. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Second,
that is kind of cool, but is that sans coffin? Like your body just gets burned up?
No, actually, you get cremated first, and then a vial of your ashes gets put up with a bunch of other people.
Oh,
so it's not like a ton of ashes or anything like that. It's just like a small vial with your ashes, including like anyone else who has paid for this service.
That's actually not bad.
Second one would be it goes, I think, past the moon and goes into like a heliocentric orbit, maybe going into the sun, which I would love.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Next one is a deep space that gets shot out of the solar system.
Rad.
So I'd go for the sun just because being burnt up, like my ashes being burnt up and all like the molecular structure being broken down into its bare components and then shot back out into space so I can drift forever as molecules. Dude.
All right. Yeah. That would be kind of cool.
Shot at like the speed of light, man.
So I remember watching this scene when I was in high school, and I did get choked up a bit because everybody gets choked up. It's not so much as the fact that they're bawling; it's the fact that everybody's trying to hold it back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Casper, it happens to him. It happens to Ace as well, where you can see him just kind of take that gulp, like they're trying to gain composure as they're going through like the saddest thing that they've ever seen so far.
Yeah.
So I think that's what got to me, is the fact that they're trying to keep it together, not so much as the ugly cry, which I think Ace would be capable of an ugly cry.
Oh yeah, for sure he can. But I think their duty and their military expertise requires them to be very, stoic.
Which is a good place to come from, especially if you're trying to keep composure in the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So sadness. This is the departure of Diz completely. And at about like 3950 or 48, the door starts to come up from this area. It was established as a gunnery room, and in walks Carl with a black trench coat, definitely looking like like once his war is done, he's going to be brought to the United States through Project Paperclip.
Paperclip, yeah.
Yeah. But so this is the first time we've seen Carl since we last saw him, where he couldn't say where he was going.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, say what you will about the Nazis and what these guys look like, because they definitely look like SS officers and Gestapo and everything like that. But say what you will, they had really, really good style.
Well, it's because they were designed by a very, very famous fashion designer.
Hugo Boss.
Yep. Wonder how many people actually know that versus don't.
I mean, I'm trying to make sure everyone knows about it.
Yeah. So that's really where the minute ends, is just the end of that, where Johnny says officer on deck, Carl says carry on, and then he says burial detail, and then he dismisses the Roughnecks.
Yes.
So, oof, gotta shake that off. Wow. Anyway, so do you have anything else to add here, Matt?
Space burial is the best kind of burial. If it was cheaper, and hopefully Elon Musk makes it a lot cheaper, I am going to do it.
Yeah, you know what? I'll put this out there. If he wants to terraform Mars and wants to use my body as some sort of fertilizer for plants, so be it.
Ooh, okay. Now, I did ask my wife earlier about this. In our marriage, I asked her when they were talking about Mars One, that kind of like joint venture kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did ask her if she wanted to go with me to Mars and die there, and she said no. I kind of expected that, but I mean, being a pioneer, being the person who is going to Mars to start a colony and dying there, like kind of like a generation ship, is kind of cool. It's kind of, impressive to me, kind of heroic a little bit as well too. But I think that's kind of the I'm born too late to explore the world, born too early to explore the stars kind of thing that I'm stuck in.
Yeah.
And that's why I play games like Elite Dangerous and Kerbal, just because I can do that, but only like virtually.
Well, now Elliot can have his own hatred because he could have been the first Martian.
Yeah, he could have been.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not that bad. So I actually heard recently that the first, like, he did say that the first people going to Mars have like a 90% chance of dying, but their 90% chance gives the second colonists a 90% chance of survival.
Yeah. So
it's not bad. I mean, you're going to live on in forever. I mean, you may have like a Mars colony named after you.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I just can't wait for, stuff like in 2001 where they have like space stations or moon bases named after like the first men on the moon, like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you could have been Station Soto. How badass would have that been?
That would have been awesome. It gives me very bad. It gives me very Luck of the Fryish vibes.
Yeah.
That's such a good episode.
Yeah, that is such a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with the theme song from Breakfast Club.
Yep. The first Martian.
That just tugged on heartstrings when I saw that, where he realizes the corpse that he was digging up
is his
nephew.
Nephew, yeah.
Yeah.
Named after him.
Oh, God. I love that show.
It's such a good show.
Yep. Where can they find you, Matt?
You guys can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, what have you. I'm there.
And you can follow me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann. But if you'd like to follow the show, you can follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podcast Addict. Please like and subscribe us. Visit our website at theroughneckminute.podbean.com for show notes and back episodes. You can follow us on Twitter as well at roughneckmin, M-I-N. You can continue the conversation on our Facebook group, the Roughneck Minute Billet. I've been your host, Johann.
And I've been your other host, Matthew.
And we'll see you on the Bounce Troopers.
Is there a Titanic podcast? Because I will totally go on that.
There is a Titanic podcast, but we're not going on it.
Can we do it?
No, there's already a Titanic podcast. Someone's already doing it.
But I know everything there is to know about the Titanic.
I'm pretty sure you do. I already asked, and they said they don't have any spots.
Oh.
Now I'm gonna have to cut this whole entire part out. Thank you, honey. I love you.
That was a good cover, Matt.
I know.